You open Claude Desktop and give a command, can you please find out all the open issues from the repo test repo, and press enter. And what Claude will do, Claude will just go through and find out all the open issues from the repo. And that's all. No copy pasting links, no API keys in the prompt, no switching tabs. So that's not magic. It's called Model Context Protocol. And by end of this video, we are going to build exactly this, starting from scratch using Python in next about 20 minutes. I'm Sudipta from Technical Potpourri. In today's video, we are going to deep dive into Model Context Protocol, not theory, but the actual code. So let's dive in. So what is Model Context Protocol? I'll keep this very tight. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. Anthropic introduced it in November 2024, and it's now being adopted by OpenAI, Google DeepMind, and over 1,000 community contributors. Before MCP, if you want Claude to talk to GitHub, you need to write your own custom integration. Same, if you want Claude to talk to Salesforce, another integration. If you want Claude to talk to database, another integration. So N models, M tools, basically N times M custom connectors. MCP fixes this with a single standardized protocol. Think of it like USB. Instead of different cable for different devices, it's a universal connector. Here is architecture in 3 pieces. MCP host. This is the application that user interacts with. Claude Desktop, Cursor, your custom app. Then MCP client lives inside the host, manages the connection to one or more servers. And then the MCP server. This is what we are building today. It's a lightweight process that exposes tool, resources, and prompt to the model. All right, so let's bring our terminal and let's do this together. Okay, so here I am inside my terminal. The first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to create a folder, and let's create this folder here. Once the folder is created, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go inside that folder. With the folder created, I am going to initiate a Python environment because we are going to create this MCP server using Python. Okay, and it's done. Once it's done, I'm going to activate that. And my virtual Python environment is activated. So everything I'm going to do inside that. So once this is done, the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to install the MCP Python SDK and the pygithub library. So the comment for that is this one, and I'll put all the comments in the description of this video. So once I do that, it's going to install everything for me, and looks like it's done. Let me clear that. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a env file. This env file is going to store the GitHub token. Okay, so what is GitHub token? GitHub token is basically the personal access token which will be used by the Claude to access the GitHub repo. So now I'm going to show you how you can create your own GitHub token. So let me bring my GitHub repo. So here I am inside my GitHub repo. So inside the GitHub repo, if you click on your profile image, then you can go to the settings. And inside settings, if you go a little below at the end of the page, you'll find an option called developer settings. If you click on that, you will find these 3 options. So basically you need to expand this personal access token, and then there will be a fine-grained token. You need to click on that, and then you need to generate your own token. So I already have my token generated, and that's what I'm going to use my env file. But you need to create your own token, which you can do by clicking on the generate new token button. Okay, so let's minimize that. And once I'm here, I'm going to store the token inside this env file. For that, I'm going to open the env file. And here I'm going to store the value. So it will be GitHub token dash followed by the token that you have generated. And then I'm going to save the file. Okay, so token is generated and I've stored the token inside my env file. So far, everything looks good. Once this is done, all I'm going to do, I need to create a Python file. So for that, let me create a file called server.py. So I have a server.py already created. So this is the place where I am going to put all the code which will be used as a MCP server to fetch information from my GitHub repo. Okay, so to that, let me bring everything in my Visual Studio Code. So here I am inside my Visual Studio Code, and as you can see, I have the server.py. So let me open that, and as you can see, there is nothing. So this is where I am going to put all the code. So for today's video, I have already committed all the code inside my GitHub repo, and it's called the GitHub MCP server. I'll put the link of the repo in the description of this video. You can definitely clone that. But here is basically server.py. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this entire code and put that inside my server.py. So once this is done, basically you are good to go. So the last thing that you need to do is basically you need to store that information inside your Claude settings. So now put the information inside the Claude settings. All you need to do, you need to go to your Claude code and then you need to click here and go to settings. Once you are in the settings, you need to go to the developer and then you need to click on the edit config. What it will do, it will bring this JSON file, which you can definitely open in your Visual Studio Code. So as you can see, I already have the standard out of the box GitHub MCP server connected, but that's not the intention because we have already built our own custom MCP, right? That's what we are going to use. So all I'm going to do first is delete this MCP server. And here I'm going to put my own MCP server, which I have created. So for that, I am going to bring this one here and put this information, which is basically, this is the name of my MCP server, GitHub MCP server. And this is where my virtual environment is. This is the location. This is the GitHub token. So I'm going to save that. Once this is saved, what I am going to do, I am going to bring my Claude again, but I am going to quit the Claude and I'm going to open the Claude again. So my Claude is here. Perfect. So with Claude here, I'm going to put the same information here again. And before that, I'm going to show you what I have done. So I have created one test repo repository, and inside that I have created two issues, issue 1 and issue 2, and one pull request. So that's exactly what I have inside this repo. So now what I am going to do, I'm going to ask the Claude to fetch the list of issues and the pull request for this repo. So let's bring Claude and let's do that. So I'm going to ask, can you please provide me the list of issues from the repo? And then I'm going to give the name of the repo, test repo, and then enter. Now let's see what the Claude will do. As you can see, Claude started working on that. And this time Claude used our MCP server, which is GitHub MCP server, and Claude gave us this two information. Wow. So literally in 10 minutes, we have built our own MCP server using Python. Let's do the same thing. Let's ask one more question. Can you please provide me the list of pull requests from the repo? And let's see what Claude will do. So yes, Claude is pulling the pull request from the test repo. And as you can see, we have only one pull request. That's exactly what I can see on my repo. So literally within 10 minutes, we built our own MCP server using Python. And what the MCP server is doing, we are giving prompt to Claude, and Claude on our behalf using the MCP server to communicate with GitHub and get all the information back from GitHub. So let's quickly try to understand what happened when we give the command, provide me all the list of issues from the repo. Claude was first trying to find the tool. It was trying to load the tool, and the request was list issues from the GitHub repo. And then it saw there is an MCP, like this is the MCP tool, and there is a list issues option. So if I open my code here, this is the tool that is being used to fetch all the issues from the GitHub repo. There is another one called get issue details, which is this one, which is being called to get the issue information. And then is basically calling this to get these two information, these two issue from the GitHub repo and present it me back. Similarly, in the second question, when I asked Claude to provide me the list of pull requests from the repo test repo, what Claude has done, Claude used this list pull request one to get all the information, all the pull request information from the repo and then presented me back here. So I have only scratched the surface. Here, what you can add on top of this. You can add resources to expose your README or code owner's file at read-only context. You can definitely add error handling with proper MCP error codes so Claude gets graceful failure message. So you can definitely add OAuth so that user authenticates GitHub themselves instead of hard coding a token. Everything, whatever we have built today, works with any MCP compatible tool. All the code from today is already in a GitHub repo, and I'll put the link of the GitHub repo in the description of this video so that you can definitely go and clone that. It's fully commented, and there is also a README file which you can go through to understand what I have done. If this is helpful, please hit the subscribe button to my YouTube channel Technical Potpourri, and please smash the bell icon so that when I publish my next video, I want you to be notified immediately. I publish twice a week covering different development tools, AI workflow, Salesforce, Agentforce, Google Cloud, Gemini, CLI, Claude. So if you have already hit the bell icon, then you will be notified immediately the video goes live. And drop your questions in the comment section of this video. I read every single one. I'll see you in my next video. Keep building.